homemade spelt pasta using the Atlas pasta maker. I found this recipe online at a website called An Italian Canadian Life. The recipe is very simple: 3 ingredients, 250 grams of spelt flour, 1/4 teaspoon of table salt, and a half a cup of water. The instructions on the website say to dump the flour onto your countertop and make a little crater in the middle. So I did that with a fork. And then I added the salt to the water. And now the object is to slowly put the water into the little crater and cover it with some flour. Add a little bit of water, cover it again, add a little water, and finally you'll get a really good dough. I found 2 instruments really much better. Then I used my hands and made a ball and absorbed the rest of the flour on the counter. Put it in plastic wrap. The pasta has to sit for an hour before you can run it into the pasta maker. The pasta maker I'm using is an Atlas pasta maker, and I downloaded the owner's manual from that URL. It includes instructions in 6 different languages and about 3 pages of pictures. Not a lot in the way of tips. So this is the pasta maker here with the handle, and it's secured to the counter. This first attachment is a ravioli maker. This attachment is to make angel hair pasta. Next is the spaghetti maker. And this attachment is used to make lasagna noodles. This last attachment is the fettuccine attachment, and that's what I'll be using for the rest of this video. The instructions say to cut into thirds, but I cut each one of those thirds in half again. I found it easier to get it into the pasta maker. This is the actual first time I used this pasta maker, so it wasn't really secured onto the counter, but I wanted to capture what it was like for the very first time. Slowly got used to it. When the pasta comes out like that, and it will, you just double it over and put it through again. And it gets flatter and flatter. There's no use rushing this technique. The slower you do the handle, the better it seems to turn out. Now there are 7 thicknesses on this machine. I went up to 5 to make fettuccine. I found I couldn't skip any of the thicknesses. I couldn't go from 1 to 3 to 5. I had to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And generally what I did was I pulled the rolled pasta out and rolled it through again, so I did every thickness level twice. When it starts getting thinner, spelt pasta really starts sticking to each other, so I found it very good to just lay it out on the counter, sprinkle a little flour on, and then it wouldn't stick to itself. Here I'm attaching the fettuccine maker, and I did record my first attempt, but this is my second attempt. The first attempt, the fettuccine went all the way through and ended up on the counter, but I couldn't lift it up. They stuck to each other, and I had to make the ball over again. I did see a tip on a video that said use a knife or a spoon or a wooden spoon, a handle from something, and here I'm still trying to remember how to do that. Well, of course, switch hands and then move around the machine, and presto, just like that. As you're cranking the raw material in, the cut pasta just comes right out onto the chopstick. Then I hung those chopsticks on my wine rack, and every time I did another ball, I just kept adding them there. The recipe says to let dry for 3 hours. I had to cook the fettuccine for 6 minutes before it was done. Spaghetti would probably be a thinner pasta, so it would cook quicker. I boiled it in salt water with a little bit of oil and then washed it off after it was boiled. And it was delightful. I served it with the bread you see there and the sauce in the background. That's marinara sauce. I made both those items using recipes on the frugalliving.com website, roasted marinara sauce and artisan bread. Hope you enjoy.